the New Zealand Tech Podcast, brought to you by Gorilla Technology, proactive and strategic IT.
Greetings and welcome along to the New Zealand Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Spain. Now we are continuing our coverage of the New Zealand High Tech Awards 2023. It's a real privilege to be with Janine Grainger, who has won the High Tech Inspiring Individual of the Year Award for 2023, thanks to the sponsor of that award, IBM. Before we delve in, a big thank you to our show partners, 1NZ, 2 Degrees, Spark, HP, and Gorilla Technology. Great to have you joining us here on New Zealand Tech Podcast again, Janine. How are you?
Kia ora, Paul. I am doing great. It's been quite a week. And yeah, thanks for having me back on the show.
Yes. Well, it has been actually for you. You've kind of scored the hat trick, as it were. Not only the win at the NZ High Tech Awards, featured in the initial 16 announced of the Callaghan 100, and also a global list from the Near Foundation, 10 winners announced there for women in web change makers for 2023. So yeah, congratulations.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it's incredibly exciting and quite overwhelming. But also, I think one of the things that I really noticed is with the High Tech Awards and also the Callaghan 100, just the feeling around this being validating for the crypto industry or blockchain and Web3 more broadly. Particularly with the Callaghan 100, out of the 16 companies that have been named so far for that, 3 of them were Web3 blockchain businesses. So it's incredibly exciting to see the industry mainstreaming more, becoming a bit more legitimate. And, I know for me, it's definitely going to hopefully be easier and open a few more doors and make crypto seem a little less sidelined and scary for people having this recognition.
Yeah, look, it's a journey, and even though the technology's been around for well over a decade now, it's still something that does still feel for some people anyway to still be quite sort of fringy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's still a lot of, even as recently as last week, I'm having conversations with suppliers who are saying, oh, look, we're not sure if we can take you on as a customer. Our board doesn't, really get behind crypto. And, we're still facing these challenges on a weekly basis. So every little bit helps, I think, with that credibility.
Yeah. I'm keen to delve in a little bit around your last year, since this award is focused focused on the last year. Talk us through a little bit, maybe in terms of the highlights, especially of the last year, and then maybe we can sort of deal into some of the tougher stuff, because it has been a period of ups and downs. Both in terms of the economy and certainly looking at the crypto world as well.
Yeah, and maybe I'll start with the lowlights, because there've been some big ones in crypto. We've seen over the last year or just a little more, we saw the collapse of Terra Luna, big, drops in the NFT markets, the FTX issues. So the markets, in terms of the values of crypto assets and the market cap, has been under immense pressure over the last year. And that's obviously had impacts on business. We've also had challenges with, like many tech companies, with getting the resourcing levels right and with making sure that we are future-proofed going into potentially a higher interest rate period, potentially recession. There's all the economic uncertainty. So from that aspect, it's been a really tough last year, and a lot of big lessons for me out of that as I, grow and develop as an entrepreneur and a CEO in terms of how I lead a company and how we manage through tough times. But there's also been some really good highlights as well. And for me, one of the most, 2 things that I'm really excited about. One is our sort of external strategies and, well, the products that we're building, what we're working on, which unfortunately I can't delve into in too much detail. I would love to rave lyrical about them, but maybe in a couple of months I can come back and have a chat on those. But the other thing that's been really great, and the thing I'm most proud of through my whole Easy Crypto journey actually, is the culture that we have at Easy Crypto. And it's been really good to see that despite having, big ups and downs in the company and quite a challenging period, we still have really high staff engagement, and 95% of the team are stoked to work at Easy Crypto and enjoy the job that they do. And that to me is the biggest measure of success, and something that I'm really passionate about continuing.
That's fantastic. And how do you achieve that? Because you've got a team that's not only sort of spread across New Zealand, but also internationally. You can't be getting your whole team together in person on a regular basis. With my team, yep, we've got a little bit of sort of remote, but yours is largely remote working. So that's a whole different challenge in terms of creating a great culture and a great environment. Any tips on how you've achieved that?
Yeah, it's something. We are a remote first company. Our team span across 7 different countries and many different time zones as well, which is a whole other challenge. But we've been really intentional about building great culture. And for me, this started a couple of years into the Easy Crypto journey when there was maybe 10 or 12 of us, and we recognized that we had a really good culture for a group of people, most of whom had never met in person, only ever interacted online. But we'd built a really great culture, and I wanted to retain that. So my main tip around culture is intentionality is really, really important. So we've done a lot of things around that. We've defined our values, which is critical, and not only defining them but making sure um, they're genuinely us. Like they really feel like us. They hit home. They're not just the word teamwork on a wall. It's like genuinely how we live and breathe as a company and what we want to ensure we show up every day as. Making those front and center, like, talk about them till you're blue in the face. And at that point, you've probably talked about them enough, maybe not quite. But also been really intentional around the tools that we use. And there are great tools out there. So our company, we live on Slack. That's the heart of our communications, where everything happens. We can drive a lot of the types of activities that you're used to in a day-to-day office environment. You can, with a bit of creativity and using some of the great tools out there, replicate those online. So, the water cooler conversations, we try to replicate that, the kind of randomly bumping into people in the corridors, the celebrations of birthdays and events. So all of those kind of things, it's a little bit of a tweak. It's a little bit different from the traditional workplace environment, but you can still build that stuff and have a great culture even whilst being remote.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's great to hear. Great to get those tips because it is part of so many of our businesses, and I think will become even more so as we go forward for a whole lot of reasons, whether it's the inability sometimes to find people locally, or the benefits that you get from having that team that are bringing together unique personalities and unique capabilities that you can sometimes only find when you're searching the world for people rather than just searching a individual city. And if you were to sort of talk to the things that sort of motivate and inspire, you personally, and how those things have sort of flowed in to your work leading Easy Crypto, and even the work that you do as a council member for FinTech NZ, what could you share?
I'm personally really inspired by the opportunity for giving everyone equal access to financial services and financial betterment more specifically. I think, I recognize how lucky I was to grow up in a family where I was taught about the value of savings, that I had, I live in a country where I had opportunity to do things like invest in the stock market or, broaden out my investment opportunities. And I think cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, the that sort of it opens up a whole range of abilities for people to have micro investments, to have more democratic access, to enable wealth to not just be available to the already wealthy, to give wealth management and wealth improvement opportunities to everyone. So that's something that really excites me. But it also for me goes hand in hand with financial literacy and financial safety. And one of the things that you've probably seen an increase in the media when you're reading up. I saw a whole bunch of articles just yesterday about people falling for scams, investment scams. This is through traditional finance, but it exists in the crypto and digital asset world as well. And it's something that I'm really passionate about, giving people the opportunities to improve their lives, but also keeping them safe and thwarting all of the scammers that are only going to get more sophisticated and more targeted in their approaches. And I think that's a huge opportunity and a big responsibility as well to try to build a better financial world, and give people a safe access to financial opportunities.
Oh, that's great. We definitely have those challenges across the board, and we seem to keep hearing more and more stories. Unfortunately, it's kind of seems to still be heading in the wrong direction.
It's an interesting one because I do think that blockchain tech and sort of digital assets have an ability to perhaps leapfrog over traditional finance in that respect. One of the
Mm,
issues that we've seen with the recent spate of investment scams is that in New Zealand, when you pay money to a bank account, you do not know the owner of that bank account. There's no way, we don't have any APIs, we don't have any feedback loops from banks to confirm that if I think I'm paying to, say, HSBC, I actually am paying to HSBC, not some, random money mill. And this is one of the great things that blockchain technology can do is it can give you that transparency, that auditability, that better clarity over who you're sending money to, and a whole lot of other raft of different interventions that I think could really help on this space. So that's pretty exciting.
yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how these things evolve. And lastly, any tips that you could share with listeners from a career perspective, whether they're entrepreneurs or they're just individuals that have some involvement and some interest in the broader sort of tech sector. What advice would you offer?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't have a career plan and I didn't really ever sort of intend to become an entrepreneur. It was a bit of an accident. But what I've learned from my journey is that if you just keep following things that you're interested in, whether that's through your day job or, things that you're learning on the side, like keep picking up skills, keep taking on new jobs or new challenges that will, stretch and grow you. And you'll probably find sort of somewhere down the line that all of these disparate threads come together and help create an opportunity or help you step into an opportunity that you'll really enjoy. So, yeah, if you keep following what you enjoy and developing skills that you enjoy working on, that's a great way to sort of set yourself up for whatever the future may bring.
Fantastic. Lastly, any people that have really helped inspire you along the way?
Oh, I have so many. But the one that just comes to mind straight away, probably because I was talking them up to my team yesterday, was Nio Merrick, who she's had an amazing career journey and incredibly smart woman. Started off as a nuclear physicist and rocket scientist, and now runs New Zealand's first sort of woman-founded deep tech fund. So Nio was someone I crossed paths with many years ago, and I sat down with coffee for her after I started Easy Crypto and got so much value out of a 1 hour conversation that I asked her to take me on as a mentor. And I'm proud to have her now on my board of directors as well. So she's a huge inspiration on many levels.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the New Zealand Tech Podcast. So pleased that you've won the High Tech Inspiring Individual of the Year award, Janine, for 2023.
Thank you, Paul.
And we'll look forward to a longer catch up once you're able to share a little bit more around, what you have in the works coming up at Easy Crypto.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks for the chat.
All right. Thanks so much. Well, thanks, everyone. I'm sure you've enjoyed some of the insights shared on this special episode of the New Zealand Tech Podcast. Of course, a big thank you to our show partners. That's Gorilla Technology, HP, 2 Degrees, Spark, and 1NZ. And make sure you're following us across the usual channels. LinkedIn is a great place to catch some of our live streams, as is YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So follow us there. All right, we'll catch you on the next episode. See ya.
The New Zealand Tech Podcast, brought to you by Gorilla Technology, proactive and strategic IT.